Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. Today I'm going to be working on my asparagus fern, pruning it up to look like a bonsai. Here is a look at my asparagus fern, and you can see it's grown long and vigorous. So I'm going to prune it up today to give it a tree-like form. My asparagus fern started off as a little tiny accent plant, and over the last 30 years it's just grown into this monstrosity. So you can see the original kind of root base down here, or caudex, or whatever it is, where all these shoots come out of. So it doesn't have any real branches or anything, it's just shoots that come out of this structure, and the roots below kind of form the trunk. So it's kind of, an unusual plant, and I've just been shaping it to look like a tree. So I think it needs repotting also, but I'll prune it up first, and then we'll look and decide if I want to repot it today. I'll rotate the fern around so you can see it from all angles. So there's either the front or the back, I'm not sure yet. Coming around. I think that was the back. I think this is the front. Yeah, quite overgrown. I'm going to start by removing some of these lower shoots so you can see, the roots which forms the trunk line. All these ones that are hanging off need to be pruned back, so you can see the trunk line. So that's where I'll begin. All right, here I go. So anything hanging down needs to be pruned back. So here's a shoot here that starts out here and it grows kind of down, so I'll just take it right off, right out. There's another one that starts way down low here. I'll take that one right out. You can see these ones, they start somewhere up here, but they kind of hang down. So I'm just going to prune these ones off shorter. And again, I can leave them a little long and then just kind of gradually work the tree back. That way I'm not rushing to the final shape of the tree. Sort of get there gradually and carefully. Because once one of these fronds is pruned off, it will not grow back in again. A new one will grow, but not the old one. So you can see I've got a few berries on it. There's one right here, and they turn red eventually. You have to watch, there's thorns on these branches, little tiny splines that kind of hurt. Pruning some of these big long cascading ones back. So I'm starting to be able to see in at the trunk here a little bit. The older branches or shoots turn brown and kind of dry up, so I go in and remove those. There's a red berry. Oh, it just fell off. Oh. Here it is. Oh. It fell down into a box. But there was a red berry hanging on there. So I'll continue pruning some of these longer shoots back. There's an older one here I'm going to remove. It's just it's got brown branches on it. It's not so good looking. It's an old branch. Better to replace it with newer ones. I've kind of got the bottom kind of roughly shaped. I want to get the canopy shape now. So here's a new shoot, a big long one, so I'll prune that off. Kind of making a rounded canopy, getting all these new long shoots trimmed back. Giving it a nicer shaped rounded canopy, not this haphazard looking thing. I have before come in with the blue scissors and trimmed it, and I think it might be a good idea to do that. I'm just kind of sorting out this foliage. There's a lot that are kind of tangled in that. Just sort of straightening it out before I do the pruning. All right, I have the blue scissors. So I'm gonna start here. Pruning away. I got my broom here, I can kind of brush it. Okay, let's see how it's looking. Well, it's a little lopsided. It's long on this side and shorter on this side, so I've definitely got to balance it. So here I go. Taking more off this side. A bit of asymmetry is okay, but not that much. I think I've still got to expose a bit more trunk. So I think some of these ones coming straight up the front will have to be removed. Like that, and like, ow! These thorns are sharp. Ow! They're just little, I don't know if I can show you one. They're just little spikes every now and then. There they are. Yeah. Nasty little things. Okay, how's that looking? Well, I like being able to see the trunk more. So I've got quite a bit of trunk exposed at the front. I've got to continue to go around. There's just too much going on back here. So you can't even see the trunk from the back. So I'll prune away some of these lower shoots. There's another dead branch in here. It's not too bad, but maybe just a little more pruning here to bring this side back a bit. That helps. I think maybe a bit of layering in here, so it's not a straight line here. Here is a look at the asparagus fern from the distance. Definitely has a good, powerful trunk. A nice kind of canopy on it. Yeah, I think, you know, if I can grow out this side a bit more, I'll put it in the greenhouse with that side facing the sun. Maybe for the Toronto show, I don't know. I'm going to try raking away the soil, the surface here now. See if I can reduce this mass here. I think it used to have moss on top at one point when I had it in a show a long time ago, which would have been years ago. So these roots, they grow a lot of fine roots, and then they grow these big bulbs on them, like quite large, and I think that's what raises it out of the pot. It's not that it's, you know, totally root bound. It's that these big bulbous roots raise it out of the pot, just their sheer volume. Because that last time I repotted it, it was like this, and I repotted it, and I found it wasn't too dense, the roots in the soil. It had just lifted up. So I think that's got the surface combed as low as I can kind of go without, you know, ripping all the roots. So I think I do need to take it out of the pot, take some off the bottom of the root system, and drop it down a bit. It's just too high at the edges here. So I will try and do that. Okay, well, how am I going to approach this? I'll try lifting it by the root system, see if it comes out. If it doesn't, I might have to tip it on its side. Looks like it's in there pretty firmly. Yeah. All right, let me try placing it on its side here and trying to get it out this way A few roots have grown down through the drainage holes. I'll push in the drainage holes. Here it comes. It's moving. Ooh. It's really in there firmly though. Ooh. I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty tight in there. I might have to loosen up around the edges. Seems to be just too tight in here. Yeah, it's pretty tight. I'll go around the edges, loosening it up. Okay, well, hopefully that's done it. Let's tip it up, see if I can get it out. There's a ladybug. Hello, ladybug. I'm gonna put you in the greenhouse. Maybe I've got to turn it over now. Stubborn. There. So that was easy. It just popped right out of the pot. No, it was very difficult getting that out. So it doesn't have like a... I guess the walls of this are... Maybe they slightly come in a bit at the top. Wow, that was a struggle getting that out. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I would say this is the textbook definition of root bound. At least on the outer layer anyway. I think on the inside here it's not quite so bad from what I see. So I think I'll cut away that outer layer, this ring of roots that goes around it and underneath. Alright, I've got the saw. I'm just going to cut this layer of roots off the bottom. Wow, it's just thick. Like, look at the roots in here. Wow. Okay, that has got the mat of roots removed. Wow. Here is a look at everything I took off today. So all the foliage, over here the roots, just massive. This is the root cam. And here's my asparagus fern. So I'm going to clean all this up, come back and rake out the roots some more. So I'm working on the root system, trying to get, all the major roots radial, because I want to raise the tree in the pot. So you can see, here's where the soil line was. I'd like to raise it up even higher and maybe spread the roots out so I get a bit of trunk flare. I think that would look really good. So I'm just kind of cleaning out the root system. Getting it sorted out so I can continue to raise the tree up in the future so they're not all a mat of tangled roots here, that they're fairly well organized. And that's important. If you want to keep raising your asparagus fern out of the soil, you need good flowing surface roots. Ones that will continue the trunk line. Okay, so it's looking pretty good. I'm going to clean up once again. And then come back and try out the tree in the pot. Alright, I've got the pot out, so you can see I have the capability of raising this tree quite a bit in the pot. Here's the old soil line here, so I could go way down to here. That would give it a more tree-like appearance. And I think I'll do that. So, yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. I may offset it slightly in the pot. I'll get the drainage screens in, a base layer of soil, and then I'll start positioning the asparagus fern. My drainage screens are in place here. So I want to put a base layer of soil about this deep, I think. Maybe mound it up in the middle, and then I can adjust my height in the pot quite accurately. Now, the only other trouble is I don't think I have any soil. Oh, I've got a little bit in here. That's not enough, is it? Okay, what I'm going to do, Jerome and Mari from the Bonsai Supply sent me some samples of the bonsai soil that they're selling through Home Depot in Canada here. So I'll go in and show you those. And I think we'll try out the Bonsai Supply soil for the very first time. Where is it? No, is it in here? It is in here. It's at the very back here. Okay, so I'm going to have to clean the greenhouse out so I can get access to my soil. And then finally, I can get my asparagus fern repotted. Here is what they sent me. So here's their bag of bonsai soil. So it has pumice, lava, calcinine clay, and pine bark fines. So a really good general purpose bonsai mix. That's what Jerome uses on all his trees, and he's got fantastic trees. So you can get it in the big bag here, which is, how big is this bag? 20 dry quarts. Or you can get a smaller bag, 2 dry quarts here. They also sell fertilizer, slow release fertilizer that you can add into your soil. And there's, I think this is top dressing. It's like a fine, or maybe that's Shohin mix. I think that's Shohin mix. Yeah, it is. So, yeah, it's the same as this soil. Just smaller particles for smaller trees. So that's awesome. So I'll be opening this bag up, try it out. This will be the first time I've tried a mix other than my bonsai soil. So it'll be interesting to see if I notice any difference. I'm so glad I have this bag of soil around because I was in the middle of repotting and I ran out of soil. This will come in mighty handy. So thanks, Jerome and Mari from the Bonsai Supply. Alright, I'll get the bag open. I think it would tear, but I'm just going to cut it. So here's a look at the soil now. So there it is. It's a really nice particle size. So you get your pumice in here, your lava rock, your calcinine clay, and your pine bark. A perfect mix. So I'll add my base layer of soil now. The Bonsai Supply soil used to only be available in the United States, but recently they're selling it through the Home Depot in Canada. It's an online order only, so you can't find it on the shelves in the store, but you can order it online and they'll either ship it to your home or you can pick it up at the store. All right, here I go, adding my base layer of soil. This is exciting, repotting the asparagus fern once again. So I've kind of got a base layer in there, which I think is deep enough. Now I'll mound it up in the middle a bit, or close to the middle. The soil's warm because it was in the greenhouse. I can feel it feels a nice temperature. Okay, so I think that is good for my mound in the middle. All right, I'm going to place the tree in the pot. So I'm just picking the front of the tree. This was a pretty nice front right here. Yeah. That's a really good front right there. I don't think there's a better one. It gets kind of skinny in this view. The back, it's kind of got this bump here, which isn't the worst in the world, but I think right here. Okay, in it goes. And I'm not sure about how I'm going to place it in the pot yet. I'll have to stand back, have a look at the overall composition. So I'll slide it towards the back here, and we'll step back and have a look at it. So there is a look at the asparagus fern in the pot. It's raised up quite a bit from the original planting. I think I could rotate it clockwise just a little bit more. Does that look better? It looks a little better. If I go further, I think I don't have the roots on this side to quite pull off more rotation, but maybe I do. That's looking pretty good. I think the canopy looks better in this position. I don't really like it offset in the pot like that. Is that looking better? No, I think it has to come to the left-hand side even more, because I've got all the weight on the canopies here and it's kind of light on this side. How is that looking? It looks balanced even though it's offset in the pot very slightly. I think it could come to the left still a little more. That looks balanced to me. I think so. Looks nicely balanced. Okay. I'm going to check it in the side view, make sure it's vertical. It could come forward a bit more. More like that. No, that looks too far from here now. No. More like that, I think. And it's a little crooked. I need to add a bit of soil underneath the right-hand side. So let me do that. Does that work? Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Okay, I think that's really close. I think it looks balanced. The front's pretty good. The root spread looks good. I think it's time to fill in the soil in the pot and go with this position. Now I'm just seeing if I can raise the tree any more. I could raise it a bit more. I'll just add a bit more soil under here. Bring it back down. I mean, if we're going for a trunk, might as well go all out, right? Yeah, that's... For an asparagus fern, this is looking pretty good, I think. So I'm going to arrange the roots now, making sure they're all kind of sorted out, fairly radial. I mean, they don't have to be perfect, but... And then I can start adding some soil. Yeah, I think that's looking good. come forward just a bit more, like that. Yeah, well, that size pot looks pretty good for it now. It's with that root flare, it sits in the pot quite nicely. All right, I better start adding soil in now. Using all Jerome's good soil on an asparagus fern, but it's a pretty special asparagus fern. And I know it's going to love this soil too. I think any tree would be enjoying this soil. Now I'm going to get the tree on the turntable. I'll need to work all this soil into the root system, do any final adjustments, so I want to be able to spin the tree around and have a good look at it. All right, time to start working it in. I must say, not having to sift the soil is a real treat. Yeah, I like that aspect of buying pre-mixed bonsai soil. All the labor is done. I think too, as I get older, that size of bag is probably perfect. So I'm not lugging around these great big bulk bags of soil ingredients. I think it'll be quite nice using a pre-mixed soil. Maybe I will have to put this in the Toronto show. People will go up to it and say, "What kind of tree is that?" And I'll say, "It's an asparagus fern." So I think it's settled in the pot. It feels secure. I'm going to give it a watering. So here I go with the water. Wash those roots off so they look a little cleaner. No drainage problems with this soil. It just drains through like there's not even any soil there. The pot's a little dirty and it looks good because the pot had zero patina when I planted it before, and now it's starting to, well, it looks a little less than new, which is nice. It looks like I got it repotted just in time. The sun is beginning to set here in the bonsai zone. Here is a look at the tree now. So I'll spin it around, give you a 360-degree view of it. Back to the front. So I still need to moss it up, and I'll have to pick out a stand for it to sit on and an accent plant, and get my display all set too. If it doesn't go in the Toronto show, it'll certainly go in the Kitchener Waterloo show. So I'm very happy with it. I think it's looking even more tree-like now. A pretty cool asparagus fern. That's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.